In my last video, I mentioned briefly the high cost of turnover, and I got a couple questions about it, so I thought I would dig in a little bit deeper. Turnover can be very expensive. Replacing people who leave an organization can cost in net profit, productivity, and trust, both within and outside of the organization. So let's talk about some of those specific factors. There are tangible, quantifiable costs, many of them. Things like unemployment compensation, advertisements to fill the position, recruitment fees, interview travel costs, job fair costs, time to interview, screen, perform background and reference checks, pre-employment tests, signing bonuses, relocation expenses, and time, materials, and labor for orientation, onboarding, and training of new staffers. That's a lot, and that's not all. There are so many intangible costs around turnover, things like productivity levels, both your existing staff filling that hole and as your new hire comes up to speed. The loss of intellectual capital or organizational knowledge when someone leaves can be for some organizations, almost crippling if they haven't spread that information throughout. Team morale, if you're losing some star performers or you're losing some key players, that may have an effect. Your company reputation and customer retention, especially if these are externally facing people. Think about it. If you're a customer working with a firm and you're working with one person, and then next month you're working with another person, and then a few months later, there's yet another person, at some point you're going to think, what the heck is going on with this company? And finally, once somebody leaves, that may create a cascading effect where more people leave, both because they say, this great person is gone, I'm going too, or they may go with them. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the turnover in your organization. We talked about hiring slow and firing fast, but next week, I will dive into some very specific tips to keep your turnover low. This is Judy Otten with GrowthCast, and I'll be back next week with a new fiscal fitness tip.